We are reading on fanfiction.net a Harry Potter fanfiction called 30 H's by Second Pillow. Warning. Chapter 3 includes invented distortions of homophobic slurs, and Chapter 6 includes the word rape, but no actual rape. I was a much younger, less worldly person when I wrote these stories. I felt... Wait, so this is more than a story?
Well, I don't know. Just go on.
Okay.
You'll see.
Okay. I felt that things like rape and homophobic slurs, while awful, could be warped, I'm not sure, warped into absurd caricatures that transcended their hurtful origins. Not really, no. While this may be true in other contexts from other authors, I do not feel it was my place to do it. The experiences of those who have suffered from rape and homophobia are bad enough, as it is, without my story normalizing the language that makes them accepted. What?
I guess they're saying, but like, it's bad enough as is they suffer, but the way they try to go about trying to warp these
So basically the author, from what I understand, is saying I didn't do a good job and I'm sorry it hurt, upset people, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you can look at it about that.
I could delete the stories, but that would not change their history and prevalence. I choose to let them remain as a testament to my prior ignorance. Fair enough.
Yeah. So chapter 1. Oh boy. Dobby relished his groin saw's roar as he withdrew the flesh choke blade from the astronaut's right skull.
What? What?
This is the first chapter.
What? His groin saw? What?
His groin saw.
It's a chainsaw that shoots chainsaws shooting chainsaws.
He turned to Harry, thrusting his bloody retina-covered pelvis with elephant fervor.
What?
How does Ronnie Ron taste, Master?
Wait, Harry Ron's an astronaut?
I don't know. Harry spat out an eyeball, like some kid with eyes. Dobby ducked an astronaut's poison barbed fist, digging his groin stall into the beast's abdomen and letting the spray of viscera wash over his elephant space armor. The skull's eye sockets on his shoulders grew brilliant with an infernal gas and vomited a bolt of light through an astronaut. He was thrown back against the death wall, his flesh boiling in another dimension. Harry slapped Dobby, who giggled. Harry reminded himself to kill himself later. Master, look out! Dobby's groin saw screamed as it flew off the armor, rocketing through the air like an early dream of mankind. It flew through 3 astronauts who dropped their hell spears as the saw cut a hole in the ground beneath them, so they fell to hell forever.
I don't understand anything that just happened, except that apparently Dobby has a penis that is like a chainsaw. So I guess he's like, what's his face from Soul Eater? Because I can't actually remember what that guy's name is. It can make chainsaw things appear all over his body. Okay. Now Dobby. Dobby knelt before his master. Is it Dobby or Dobby?
I don't know.
Okay.
I said Dobby.
Because I know in the story it's Dobby, but I'm not sure if that's how it's spelled. Harry withdrew his guitar, fuck Slayer, okay, from a dimension where all screamed for naught. This is so dark and hardcore, man. Wrought from the silver heart of heaven's false promise, because I'm deep and, knowledgeable and shit. Laced with vessels that pulsed with angels' menstrual blood. Ew. Also, I don't think angels would have menstrual blood, but then again, I wouldn't know. Hewn from the horns of Satan's generals. It laughed as it was set loose. Is this going to be like Diark Yagami? Is it going to be like that story?
I don't know. I didn't read through Dark Yagami yet.
Aw, sad face.
I'm sorry. I'm behind on all these things. I haven't watched everything yet.
Okay. It laughed as it was set loose. A laugh that only Harry could hear because he's actually schizophrenic. But no one could share. Harry swung the guitar through Dobby's chicken neck, so he's killing this guy. He took the head of his fallen dwarf slave, he's an elf, and tore open his stomach for some reason. Stuffing the head inside, Harry vomited steam and summoned a great meteor from space, because he's Sephiroth, to smash into Hogwarts and kill everyone there for no reason at all. It's normal for this kind of thing to happen, Harry in his moods. A vision then appeared. It was Dumbledore, entombed in his cursed mummy armor. What? Calling Harry from his moon base, which wasn't on the moon. So he's just crazy and thinks he is. Harry, you must rock the fuck out. What the hell are you doing, you motherfucker? Rock the hell out! Harry channeled his rage through Fuckslayer. The angel blood boiled as he summoned a great meteor, swathed with the blood of the tiny fucklings at Hogwarts, leapt onto it, and flew into space. It is similar to Diarchiagami. He encased the entire meteor in a wreath of holy fuck fire. And flew through Mercury, killing the fuck out of it, and throwing the rest of the solar system out of, its orbit, thus causing incredible ecological change on Earth. Then he sent Mercury's carcass into Venus, killing the fuck out of it, and making every vagina in the galaxy explode. Because, Venus, goddess of love, her. And inside every vagina, a booby. A booby? Boobs don't go in vaginas.
I think they're talking about the bird. Like the booby bird.
Oh, okay. I don't think birds go in your vagina either.
I don't know. Some people are probably into it.
Well, considering what I saw on What the Fuck Is Wrong With You earlier today.
Oh gosh, that's a story for another day, Kassie.
Yes. Booby sang Immortal Life's fleeting precipice? Precipice, okay. Harry then did fly his meteor through space, punching astral vampires. Can we just have the story about astral vampires? That sounds awesome. Oh, wait, we did. That was Vampire Wars, and it sucked.
Well, we can write better stuff, Kassie. You and me will write about astral vampires.
Yay! With his fists encased in fuckfire and throwing their ruined heads into the past, where they bit cavemen on Mars, because we're clever, and I guess he read those books. So that history changed, and now there are vampire cavemen on Mars. Harry received another vision from Fumblegore, who was having tea and chumpets with the president of Pangea. Care to have tea, Harry? You know I hate chumpets.
Harry slammed his book shut. It wasn't really a book. Because the pages were made of lasers and the words were made of headless women making godless love to dragons and made out of motorcycles. But it was still reading.
It was? Or what?
But it was still reading.
Okay.
I guess it was still...
The book can read itself.
Gumbledorf, if you don't stop, we'll starve, and no one will be around to kill everyone in the universe if we get around to bringing everyone back to life after we kill them. I am no longer Scrumble-Gortz. The ancient man dropped some of the planets he was juggling.
Because he's God.
The worlds have shifted. I am Dumblecomp of the Dark Meal. He flexed one of his legs, which was made of pistols, and kicked the planet in half. Bugger your Dark Meal. Applesauce of 1,000 suns. Dumblecomp sniffed. And what of it? Is it a sin? Should a man feel like Buttercup a sun or 1,000? Why should the suns heave through the void, if not skewer it behind our crap poles? Harry cast a glance at the book. Unsavory sounds emanated from a particularly damp chapter. Harry was hungry. He looked at a nearby cup. It had a faded brown film on the bottom. He thought about chumpets.
But I thought he didn't like them.
I guess he had a change of heart.
Harry had some food. It was guarded by 3 and 1,000,000 surf ninjas, for it was the last food on Surf Ninja Moon X. The ecology had been decimated by surf ninjas, who lived there, I guess. Whatever. So the last food was a cabbage and mustard sandwich. not really appetizing. Harry squatted in the ruins of a castle which had been many skulls arranged to resemble one large one. Somebody had a little extra time, didn't they? It had been poorly done, with the cheeks fading into an amateurishly executed jawline. The silent killers of the night had negated their innate advantage by only plying their craft on surfboards during the day. Okay, I guess. Harry was about to eat his cabbage when a man in a tuxedo appeared from behind nothing much. He stood 10 feet tall, and his head seemed warped and unwrappable and warped.
Wrapped in unwrappable
Thank you.
darkness.
See, I can't tell the difference between the two words. They both look the same to me. Seemed wrapped in unwrappable darkness. I am Rape Radbury. I write critically acclaimed fiction that always turns into fact. That's why I have more money than anyone. Clever author. Very clever. Harry dug a bit of cartilage. Ow. Out of the cabbage witch? Cartilage. How did cartilage get into that sandwich?
Magic.
And continued.
Radbury.
And continued chewing. Would you care to discuss one of my books? I hear that's my. Harry fished out another bit of cartilage. Gross. It was a cartilage and mustard sandwich, apparently. You shouldn't believe what everyone says about me. I took a shower with my cousin once, and I have racist thoughts. Those are not good, endearing things, friend. A niblet of yellow cartilage, ew, landed on Rape's shoe. He thought about his cousin.
The Inquisitors were torturing Harry. First, Ignatius used the rock. Then Billy asked Harry if he wanted to read his BDSM blog. Harry was so surprised his pants flew right off. He was wearing women's underpants. The Inquisitors were wearing them too. They have realized they were all men of the Lord.
Yeah. I don't think it's the one most people come to think of in the United States. Probably some kind of fictional deity that wears women's underwear. Why do I get the longer ass chapters?
I don't know.
Harry awoke to the throaty grumble of a rape ape. I think somebody was watching the creatures when they had this particular question pop up. Not a rape ape, but the rape ape, the last of his kind after the subjugation of the rape forest. His people once graced the canopy, their penile digits proudly grasping the vines as they swung through the night. Their hundreds of sweaty simian dongs trailing a now fretted memory and the rape ape's wandering eye, because he's that one Indian that sees the guy littering. As his ocular ducts began to well with ancestral pride, so too did the countless meaty members sprouting from the rape ape's very hairy itch. Wait, so he has a penis, but he has penises on penis. Multiple of them.
All over his body.
Okay, from his eye sockets, ear holes, even his calloused toes, a penile font of cryjuice birthed a
deluge.
Whatever. He observed with his consternation as he was tied to a table. Oh, Harry observed this with consternation as he was tied to a table. Neither magic nor super cosmic strength would free him from his bonds. Had this creature access to an unknown material of deistic strength, or did the rape ape have a secret yet more baffling? Harry squinted so he could see the subsonic strings of the ropes. He began tossing antimatter, because he could do that now, at them with his mind, as a group of children entered the rape ape's hiding place. Okay.
I guess.
They were well groomed and impeccably attired, and were 5.8 of them. Okay. Just enough to represent an array of genders and races that would leave no one unhappy, save for the Eskimos. They were their own, as far as the rape ape was concerned. Okay, oh, they were on their own. My bad. Why do you cry, rape ape? Asked child 3.2. The rape ape, unwilling to hide its greasy primate cock tears, hung its head, and privately coaxed the eye wangers downward. It tied them together into a bow atop its head, to be pretty for its guests. We are bound in this ligature of lingam, brother Rape Ape, said child 4.6. The children surrounded Rape Ape, holding their hands, and began to sing. Harry was transfixed as he watched the children, gently swaying with the song, float skyward. The little ones began to orbit the Rape Ape, who was convulsing as though stricken by the seizure devil. As the song increased in tempo, the child flesh bubbled and merged into a spinning wonder turbine. The fleshy kidmus sprouted hair and growing dribblers just like the rape ape and sprayed confetti into skies of past and future, setting the constellations aflame with the opalescence of the perished rape apes. An explosion of color and hair left Harry Potter alone, still bound. He thought about sandwiches.
That was a chapter. Uh, Harry awoke in a pit that reeked of hot sauce. He could feel viscous fluid underneath his fingernails, burning the tender skin. Everywhere were white bags bulging with foul product. They were diapers stuffed with chicken bones and hot sauce, their foul odor blossoming in the muffled dark. Harry's nostrils begged his brain for mercy. He flew upwards, away from the saucy mysteries below. The smell grew faint, calling him to return. Harry ignored their lies, flying beyond the lips of his prison. He was in a laboratory, with machines that had no purpose beyond blinking lights and soft hums. Oh boy, my son, you make my father so good. Harry had flown out of the nose of an old man. The old man wore a white coat, yet was drawn by the hand of an idiot. His voice came not from his mouth, but from elsewhere, a sad attempt at humanity. I know you'll do so well now. You choose. The man reached into his coat and laid out 3 diapers, each brimming with spicy bones of the nose prison. He removed his head and stuck it on the spike on the counter to keep it from rolling away. The diapers began to stir as creatures clawed out of bony wombs. Arrayed before Harry was a turtle, the reptilian body so frail that it seemed an afterthought to the shell, a bald weasel with 2 pigs for legs, and a wrinkled thumb and a glass of water. The old man called out from the spike. Everyone has one. Make your best friends for life. Harry drank the glass of thumb water and spat the thumb at the old man's head.
Okay. Service Snapplebottom began his life as a hand on which were perched each of the 5 first presidents of a country called America. Okay. The first 2 presidents, Gahab and Sowasesh, were turned into ashes by a passing wave of fast food regulation. Their ashes were consumed by children in various Wendy's establishments. Each plastic packet was a coffin for their memory, and no one knew their name, even though they were listed on the ingredient list. These children became soldiers in wars fought for control of who had all the bullets. Whoever shot the most bullets the fastest won. The third president, Wahuli, went to a country that was nothing but a desert with half-buried turkeys. Sometimes turkey butts were above the sand, sometimes a leg or a head. Wahuli tripped and fell into a turkey head, where he was eaten and ordained as a rabbi. But he was eaten. How can that happen?
Logic.
He
No
was
exist.
he was sent to trim the beards of 157 toads, whose beards were absorbing the water that was used for the next year's crop of shovels. Without these shovels, the peasants would be unable to shovel the ashes of their children from the bullet wars. Wahuli took these beards and formed a lasso. This lasso was a ropey wonder. He used it to tear off his penis and write the 13 Commandments of America upon a passing eagle in cock's blood. That poor chicken. You are stupid, baby. Someone cut off my dick and wrote an America with it. If a whale tries to sell you a pumpkin, don't. Your head is an artifice. Throw it away, but don't let anyone see you do it, or you'll be kicked out of the school. Always collect a ghost's shadow if it leaves one behind. It will be worth something someday. Starbucks napkins are hereby the new currency, but only after they are smeared upon the corpse of a mule. The exchange rate will be 13 mules to one napkin. Taxicabs will be used to build a pyramid with 290 sides. It will be the White House. And the president will live there for 17 years at a time, while you eat your children's ashes on a bun. On Father's Day, you will enter an invisible box and be plunged into the ocean. There you will enter an undersea candy store, but you will never have enough Starbucks napkins to get what you want. Because life is dickish like that, I guess. It is all
Apparently.
spam. All of it. Check the box and delete it. Now delete yourself, for you are spam. All clocks will be inscribed with the entirety of the alphabet to save time. This is the alphabet. 6 plus 7 equals A. 14 times 12 is B. 16 minus parentheses 11 parentheses equals President Wahuli, and so on until you reach the period, which is the end of the alphabet. All previous constitutions were writ by false writers, whose passing eagles were inferior and whose cocks had fewer things in them, except only the American Constitution. Spend your adolescence as a duck, waddling in a circle until you become an egg full of dust. All time is a knotted ball. You can hide it anywhere in your body, and it is still time. President number 4, whose name was not a name, but a multitude of hot dogs in the shape of swastikas, decided that he would create the Gilded Age. This was a time in which every edge was embossed with a golden trim, like a wedding cake, invented by Thomas Edison. All the women wore bonnets made of butter, and were picked up by their feet and spread on toast in the summer. It was all for naught, because this was not the toast of the righteous. I hear myself.
Sorry, that was my headphones came out.
It was a feeble toast, one which withered with the coming of the sun. Not even the crows would touch it, preferring the taste of mouldering poop water. Ew. But the crows were put in dresses and sold to the highest bidder, where they underwent liposuction. President 5 disliked the conservative leanings of his brothers, so he became an infinite two-dimensional grid of pink and green squares. Each square had a vagina upon it. These vaginas each emitted a spear of light, upon which was skewered an endless succession of planets. Each carried a culture dedicated to a single sex act. The further down the skewer the planet was, the more orifices possessed by its denizens, and the more gymnastic their sexual culture. The worlds.
Crow body shaming. Poor crows. Alright, last chapter. Harry Potter lay, dreaming. In his mind there is a hat, suspended. It comes unhinged, traveling beyond the dream. The hat finds a sunlit hill studded with flowers and children gorging themselves on chocolate. Chewing faces are smeared with brown residue. Perched atop the hill on its brim, the hat was still. It rolls down the hill, skating between the chocolate-stuffed children. It comes to one child and stops. Without chocolate, the child stares blankly at its neighbors, filled with emptiness. The hat points its empty bottom at the child and sprays a glittering beam of rainbows. They encircle the child's hand, transforming them into chocolate. Tears of joy streak down the child's smile as it begins eating its hands. The hat flies into the sky. The child rims a brown stump. The hat extends to a palace of clouds. Within, God, bearded and weeping, sits beside a mountain of tiny angels. One by one, he picks them up and tears off their wings. He then places them in separate baskets. The hat approaches God, and the rainbow is deployed, and encircles God's crotch. A giant chocolate phallus emerges from God's robes. Dropping a set of his broken angel, he breaks off a piece of his candy member and spreads it on his lips. With a chocolate-studded smile, he slowly raises his fist and gives the hat a thumbs up. The hat travels into space. It finds itself before the sun. is a tiny dot before the immensity of the cosmic fire. The hat trembles, a tremendous rainbow issues forth, embracing the sun in like a wedding vow. The fire cools and deadens. Its chocolate tidal wave roars from its poles and meets at the center. On Earth, the skies blacken, the flowers turn to dust, humanity expires silently, like an infant in its crib. The hat drifts through space, dreamless.
Okay, sure.
So, thoughts on that, Kassie?
Well, it's just a bunch of random stuff happening. Not particularly interesting.
Yeah, it's just all over the place. It's like it's very absurd in that fashion.
I can't say I really want to continue it or have it on the show, honestly. It's just, yeah.
That's all there is to it, I believe. That's
Oh,
it.
for some reason I was thinking it was longer than that.
Nope, that's it. That was the entire story.
Oh, well, then I'll probably be on the show then if that's it. But, yeah, I mean, just a bunch of stuff happened, and I don't know, just nothing really happened. Just stuff happened. And that was it.
Yep. That's the thing. We only have a little more than half an hour
Oh,
before
wow,
we're done.
really?
Yeah. So the question is, what to do now? Do we just talk the rest of that hour, or do we try to fill in one more thing?
Well, we could. Let's see. What did everybody in chat think about the story?
She like what the fuck? And Icky Solrock is like, I'm sure the person who wrote it had fun at least.
Yeah, probably. I mean, maybe if we had like started earlier in the night with this, maybe I would have found it more entertaining, but it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm plodding along through a bunch of crazy stuff happening, but it's just, yeah, it was the thing that happened.